Tonight on Prime Business, the Association of Ghana Industries calls for an aggressive industrial plan for local industries and manufacturing companies to avert a looming economic recession.
Prospects for companies in the agribusiness and agro-processing sectors are huge. Investment in these sectors seems to have stalled due to policy inconsistencies over the period. It is important to bring all stakeholders, including the GIPC, in order to have a balanced discussion on the investment climate in Ghana.
There's more ahead as a leading investment promotion expert with the EU reveals Ghana is currently $6 billion short of investment funding this year. Also, ECG goes tough on state institutions as it runs into acute losses.
ECG is under a different person now. Revenue mobilization is key. We are at the point where we cannot be doing the same thing over and over again.
All these stories and more coming shortly. We begin with commodities. Tonight, the Association of Ghana Industries has called for an aggressive industrial plan for local agribusiness and manufacturing companies to avert a looming recession. It comes as the Finance Minister, Kenu Foreta, in the mid-year budget review, revised downwards Ghana's economic growth by 2.7%. Speaking at the launch of the AGI Industrial Summit, President of the AGI, Dr. Humphrey Eyim-Dake, warned that things could get worse in the coming months if an exclusive local content policy is not produced by government.
Our businesses are in trying times. The fast depreciation of the cedi, the escalating fuel prices, the rising public debt, the rising inflation are of great concern to businesses in general and industries in particular. We are indeed in challenging times, and we would like to engage government to prefer pragmatic solutions to the economy. Our strong recommendation is that in engaging the IMF, we should pay maximum attention to the industrial and agriculture sectors of our economy to hasten the recovery of our economy on a more sustainable basis with a mindset of a structural transformation of our economy. Part of the reasons we are struggling with our economy today could be attributed to our heavy dependence on imports, and therefore supporting our productive sectors to provide our essential needs. It's imperative for local and export markets. We call for the full restoration of the benchmark discount values to its original levels, whilst providing incentives to encourage local manufacturing within the context of industrializing our economy. On the mid-year budget review, the effort to restore the macroeconomic stability is the most welcome, and we need to engage more on ways to bring relief to businesses in these challenging times.
And we stay a bit with the AGI because there are indications of the government struggling to secure investor funding for various projects. As a leading investment promotion expert with the EU has revealed that Ghana is currently $6 billion short of investment funding this year. Take a listen to Sean M. Dugan, an investment and promotion expert with the European Union Ghana Employment Specialization Program.
Ghana, like Africa, faces a substantial investment gap. The critical question, therefore, is how to fill it. According to Global Infrastructure Outlook estimates, Ghana, to achieve its Sustainable Development Goals, will need more than $11 billion worth of investment a year, every year, for the next 15 years. The current level of investment funding available for Ghana's Sustainable Development Goals suggests a funding gap of about $6 billion a year. How do you fill that gap? We have worked with AGI to try and answer that question through the form of an investment summit. This will be the focus of the second day of the Ghana Industrial Summit and Exposition. We will use with AGI the Industrial Summit to discuss how to improve Ghana's investment funding ecosystem with the objective of filling that investment gap. Specifically, the Industrial and Investment Summit will focus discussions on mobilizing, attracting and retaining investment, the sort of investment that's necessary for industry to take full advantage of the African single market.
All of this, Ghana's business community continues to reel in despair over the high cost of doing business amid a depreciating cedi and high inflation. There was a bit of respite when the finance minister announced the extension of the tax amnesty program, as it were, to give businesses more breathing space amid the current economic climate. But how worse are things getting? That's a question I put to President of GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obeng.
Yeah, you see, it does not help us when prices go up. As a matter of fact, when there's inflation, Christmas, this is what we have to contend with. And it's not interesting at all. The tax amnesty has been there for quite a long time. You see, we keep on extending it because education, there's lack of education that goes with it. And so most of the informal sector players do not know what this tax amnesty is. And I'm expecting that GRA come with us to go to the market.
Now, the managing director of ECG, Samuel Dubik Mahama, says ECG's revenue losses is running into the millions of dollars, and ECG is going to ensure that any state institution owing the company is disconnected. Take a listen to him.
Parliament has paid, to be fair to Parliament, they've paid to the very last penny. Now, if you've realized, I took off Ghana Airport without fear or favor. I took off Tema Oil Refinery without fear or favor. GBC, I didn't spare. She's here, so you can verify. My brother, ECG is under a different person now. Revenue mobilization is key. We are at the point where we cannot be doing the same thing over and over again. Every state institution, thanks to the task force that has been set up, every state institution that owes, their doors have been knocked on and they've paid. Ghana Sports Authority, if you realize last weekend I took them off before the football match in Cape Coast. They came to pay. I am not sparing anybody. I am not hiding behind any hardship. If you are going through hardship, imagine what I am also going through as ECG. I'm going through a bigger hardship because within my value chain, I buy the power in dollars and I sell in Ghana cedis. It's not sustainable for you to steal from me.
Let's now talk green agriculture because Chief Executive of the Ghana Enterprises Agency, Charles Ayitey, is calling on small and medium enterprises to pay attention to emerging green economies. According to her, the global economy is moving towards smart technology, and another sure way to survive is through investment in green initiatives. She spoke to journalists after launching the Green SME Networking Festival here in Accra, of which we have more in this report.
The three-day festival is part of the Invest for Jobs program by the Ghana Enterprises Agency and German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development. It is to support small and medium-scale enterprises in Ghana. Chief Executive of the Ghana Enterprises Agency, Charles Ayitey, said it's about time entrepreneurs took advantage of the growing green economy to make their businesses sustainable.
A festival on job creation. Now, the reason why I say that this green economy can actually translate into job creation is because this is a new and innovative sector and economy that we've never really focused on. That has the potential to actually bring about a lot more innovation for the youth to start new businesses in alignment with their passion, in alignment with technology, in alignment with what this generation, new youth generation has grown up seeing and knowing and being very conversant about. So once we are able to bring this to the fore and also encourage them to create opportunities, this will automatically translate into job creation in a new economy that in the past we hadn't paid attention to. So that is why we believe that this is an economy for the green economy and green MSMEs. Is an economy that we need to pay attention to. It's an economy that we need to support, and it's an economy that we need to build the youth to have a greater understanding to do more for.
Team lead in charge of Invest for Jobs, John Duty, explains how small businesses can adopt sustainable initiatives in their operations.
Green has to do with resource efficiency, the efficient use of resource. How do I use water efficiently? How do I use power efficiently? Even disposal of waste. How do I even reuse some of my waste? These are all factors that SMEs can also consider that in their own small way they can contribute to the green agenda. Besides, the whole world is greening. Very soon, people will be requested to put stamps on their product to show that they produce this in a very green environment. So the earlier we adapt this thinking of green, the better for us. So it's very relevant, and SMEs can play a critical role in their own small way.
About 100 small enterprises are participating in the event to explore green business concepts.
Now, the Design and Technical Institute is calling on all technical and vocational educational institutions across the country to work together to ensure sustainability within the space. According to workshop manager at the Design and Technical Institute, Isaac Tete, institutions should be committed to engaging young people more often to create more opportunities. He spoke to Joy Business at the commissioning of the ultra-modern workshop and state-of-the-art equipment and pitching event for learners.
The Design and Technology Institute commissioned its ultra-modern workshop and state-of-the-art equipment to aid teaching, learning, and the production of prototype products. Some learners were rewarded with a total seed capital of $25,000 to support their business ideas under its Pre-Accelerator program as part of the Community Innovative Project. The competition is a business pitch and accelerator initiative designed to identify, recognize, and support promising student-led enterprises with the potential to scale and create sustainable jobs for the teeming unemployed youth. Isaac Tete, speaking to Joy Business, called for more attention to the sector.
Technical and vocational education is expensive, especially for welding and fabrication. The resources to put this thing together is very, very, very expensive, especially consumables, materials, plates and pipes that you need to buy for the students. And sometimes it's annoying because the training process, you don't really see something tangible, that they are building stuff. We are just cutting pieces of metals for them to weld. You don't see the productivity in that. But at the end of the day, that is what gives them the skill that is required for industry. So if you ask me that question, then it will be commitment from technical and vocational schools, commitment of management to provide all the necessary training materials for the learners to be able to get the skills that are required for industry.
According to one of the judges, Kobina Hodgson, the winners will graduate and advance with their prototypes into a 6-month pre-acceleration program. The pre-acceleration program will serve as a platform for the winners to gain extensive business management, financial and operational resources, and will be the catalyst for fundraising activities and investment opportunities at DTI.
This is not the first time we are doing this. Last year we were part of the initial group, and I can say that the improvement we've seen this year is beyond measure. The participants, the innovators were pitching from their bellies, literally. You could tell they understood what they were saying. They were answering questions, speaking directly to their businesses, and we can only wish the best for them. Thankfully, we were not just judges or ideation members. We're part of coaching them this time around. Therefore, you could see that there was some amount of intentional handling to get these guys to understand what they want to do and the results they are to expect therein.
The overall winner, Mastercraft, developed a multi-purpose wheelchair for the aged and the physically challenged. According to the leader of the group, Matthew Tieta, this will expand their knowledge and prepare them for other projects.
And one thing we cannot deny is that the journey, though it's been challenging, but it's been amazing and then impacting as well, because we've built inner tenacity, we've built our endurance. In fact, living here, I cannot deny that there has been tremendous transformation throughout the entire process.
The 5 finalists were selected out of a short list of 15 teams that went through a 6-month training in problem identification, research, and prototype development, which commenced on 15th December 2021.
Women peasant farmers in the Upper East region are calling on government to strictly enforce the 30% allocation of subsidized fertilizer for women farmers as stipulated in the implementation guidelines for the fertilizer subsidy program. They say women farmers have also struggled to get access to government subsidized fertilizer because their male counterparts allegedly bully them into forfeiting their share of these fertilizers. With the farming season for this year already in progress across the country, the situation of women farmers is likely to be worsened if government does not intervene. Joy News Upper East Regional Correspondent Albert Sori has been engaging some of these women farmers and has come through with this report.
The government of Ghana has been implementing the National Fertilizer Subsidy Program to support its flagship Planting for Food and Jobs program to boost agricultural productivity and improve the living conditions of smallholder farmers across the country. Under the program, fertilizers are provided for the smallholder farmers at a subsidized price up to 50%. The fertilizers are allocated and distributed to farmers in districts across the country. The implementation plan for the fertilizer subsidy program makes a provision for 30% of the fertilizers to be allocated to women farmers. But according to some of these women farmers, the allocation has never been made for them. Rather, they often go to the distribution points and struggle with their male counterparts who more often than not bully them into forfeiting their share of the fertilizers.
In fact, when I got there, a lot of women were there and they were not getting the fertilizer. But I went inside, I was able to go inside, and all they could tell me was that the fertilizer was finished. Because they knew that if they had told me to go away or even to chase me or do something that was not proper, they would hear me on air. So all they said was that the fertilizer was finished.
Gilberta Akoka is a farmer based in the Boko West district of the Upper East region. She is also the chairperson for the peasant farmers in her district. For women farmers like her, getting fertilizers in time is the key to getting good yields at the end of the farming season. But according to her, in the past seasons, they rarely got the fertilizers, and even if they did, it came with a lot of struggle.
Women are vulnerable, and so last year, for you to be able to get the government subsidy fertilizer, it was a big hell It was a big hell. Even if you heard that the fertilizer was in a particular shop and you went there, people went there to sleep. You will queue. When you get there, they will push you away because you are not strong. So it was very difficult for women actually to get subsidy fertilizer. It has been like that.
At Korania, in the Kasana-Nankana municipality, women rice farmers have faced similar challenges. Janet Atimolga is a rice farmer.
I went there with my money, but when the men came, when they get into my time and I'm to go and pick my own, they push me, they even pull me back. So I forced myself and enter. 1 man step on my leg. A pregnant woman, they even push that woman. Can you imagine a woman with a woman who is pregnant and he needs 10 or 4 to even go and use? The men will push her away and then hijack everything.
Another rice farmer, Ajwa Akansa, shares her experience in her efforts to get the government subsidized fertilizer last year.
And when the men are stronger than the women, so it's always difficult for us to get it. They were pushing us and we felt that we were always struggling, but still we will not get. So it's always difficult for us to get the fertilizer.
According to the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, the fertilizer subsidy shortages experienced in 2021 are likely to escalate this year as the prices of fertilizers have shot up and access to fertilizer will become more difficult, largely due to the Russia-Ukraine war. Dr. Charles Ayitey is the Executive Director for the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana.
Women are usually neglected when it comes to access to subsidized fertilizer. As part of the implementation plan for the fertilizer subsidy program, 30% allocation is supposed to go to the women. But we found out that during the implementation, these provisions are usually neglected. And we are also foreseeing that the fertilizer subsidy shortages that we experienced in 2021 is likely to escalate in 2022. Now the fear is also that now that there is this conflict between Ukraine and Russia, and we know that most countries where fertilizer is manufactured is coming from getting their natural gas from Russia, and those countries have already placed economic bans on Russia. It means that the situation is going to be worse.
The women farmers want government to intervene by getting the fertilizer distributors to adhere to the implementation guidelines for the fertilizer subsidy program, which makes a provision for 30% of fertilizers to be allocated to women farmers.
We didn't know that when the fertilizer comes to the district, women are supposed to access 30% of the fertilizer. Because they knew we didn't know, they cheated us on that. We couldn't talk for our 30%.
What I want government to do or people to do for we the women is, if the fertilizer is coming, they should divide the fertilizer. That this one is going to the women and this one is going to the men. If they divide our fertilizer for us and the women know that if you go here, you go and pick your fertilizer, or you go here, you go and buy your fertilizer, I think it's good for us.
For now, these women peasant farmers may just have to start bracing themselves for another difficult farming season. For Joy News, Albert Sorry, reporting from Bolgatanga.
And we hope authorities meet up to this challenge of dealing with the gender issues regarding the procurement and distribution of fertilizers. Well, that's how we end this edition of Prime Business. I'm Charles Ayitey. We have Prime Sports coming next. Just stay with us.